This is my story in a nutshell. You know, when I think about my story, it speaks of literally starting from a very low place in life, the challenges, the people that I was around who were really trying to pull me down. And what you'll notice is there's 2 clocks here. These symbolize the 2 times I almost lost my life. I've just always had angels that have been protecting me, that have been guiding me, that have been helping me overcome. And then you'll see the pyramid, and for me, the pyramid really symbolizes Africa, my roots, you know, where I come from, within my roots. And so when I talk about I'm not my struggles, it really talks about despite where we come from, despite the hardships that we face, I think it's really important for us to recognize that just because you go through something, that doesn't mean that's who you are as a person. I think oftentimes it's very easy to look at a situation and say, because I've been through a tough situation, that's who I am as a person. But it's the furthest thing from the truth. It's really just a part of the journey. It's a part of your path. It's a part of the story that you can tell afterwards. My name is Randell Adjei. I am the founder and director of Rise Edutainment, reaching intelligent souls everywhere. I'm a public speaker, I'm a youth facilitator, I'm a professional facilitator, poet, spoken word artist, author, and I do a lot of different things. Anything that has to do with community, youth, arts, empowerment, positivity, I'm all over. That's really my realm, my world of things. But even more than that, I know that I'm here to leave a legacy. I'm here to do something special in the world. I was born here in Canada. I grew up in Ghana for just about the first 5-6 years of my life. And I came back and I've been living in Canada ever since. For my dad, he just ended up here in Canada because of the connections. Like, you know, they have other family friends that were here. They had people that they knew, you know, the people that have a similar experience. It's easier to come adapt here, right? Growing up here in Canada, my dreams when I was younger were really about the talents that I was given. When I was young, I could sing. And so I really wanted to be a singer before puberty hit. And then I gave up on that dream. Then basketball became something that was really important to me. I wanted to get a free education playing basketball. And then that dream didn't work out for me. And then yeah, after that, the dream was just to make a difference in the world, using my art, using my experiences, my stories as a way to really empower people and help people. And so the dream has changed over time, many different times, just based on circumstance and obstacles. But I know that every obstacle really allowed me to be where I am today. And I think one of the best things that happened to me was hitting every roadblock that I hit, because just helped me find my purpose in life and what I wanted to do. I'd say one of the biggest challenges that I faced in my life as far as becoming who I am today would have to be, there's so many. I was a young person who was, you know, a very angry young person. The biggest challenge was really around like my family. Yeah, look at my parents, and they worked really hard to bring my family over. My mom worked a graveyard shift, and I didn't get to see my mom very often growing up because she was often working 2 jobs. When I did see her, she was tired and didn't really have the capacity to love me the way I wanted to. And so my father was the same way. He was working a lot. Whenever he came home, it wasn't like he had time to really, you know, just give emotional or mental support. And I think growing up, that was one of my biggest challenges because I just grew up as pretty much an only child. And so I didn't really have people I could relate to. Even coming back to Canada when I was 6 years old, I spoke better English than all the other young people, but because I had an accent, I was put in ESL. And so just those 2 roadblocks were pretty difficult for me growing up. Just really affected my belief in my confidence in myself and my belief in myself. And so that transcended into some of the trouble that I got into as I got older. You know, getting suspended at a really young age, getting in trouble with the law, things like that. So, but I think every roadblock, to me, roadblocks are really just paths. If you just learn how to break through, it's a path to something new on the other side of the wall. So I don't know what really roadblocks are. You know, I just see them as pit stops. As when I say I didn't come this far, I immediately go to my parents and my grandparents and my ancestors and what they did. And because I'm a part of them, it just means that I've got to surpass what my parents, what my grandparents did. I've got to be able to set a higher bar, a higher standard for my descendants, for my children in the future. And for me, I think it's really important to recognize that, you know, one day we as people will be someone's ancestors, and people will be looking at us for the path that we've created for them. And I think it's important that we realize that you can't live a life that is unfruitful that is stagnant. And yeah, you know, when I think of I didn't come this far, the I isn't even about me. It's about the people that came before me and the people that will come after me, because I'm still a part of that equation at the end of the day. I'm still a part of that spectrum, that continuum. So I didn't come this far. To come this far is really looking at what's been set for me to have this opportunity, and then what I will then set to create an opportunity for my descendants in the future. The boldest decision that I'm proud of, both personally and professionally, would definitely have to be following my heart, following my spirit, at a time where people I loved, people I cared for, people whose opinion really mattered to me, told me I shouldn't do what I knew in my heart and my spirit was right to do. You know, thinking of my parents, thinking of my friends, who, when I told them about this idea that I had to bring people together to come and congregate, to express the feelings that we were going through in a creative way, they all said no, it's not a good idea, it's not gonna work, it's not gonna be successful. But I've always been a hard-headed, stubborn person, so you tell me I can't do something and I'm gonna do it anyways. So I think that's probably the boldest decision I've ever made, because I knew it was right for me. And I think in life, often decisions that we make have to stem from knowing who you are as a person and not allowing other people's opinions to dictate who you think you should be. So that's the boldest thing, because it's led me to this moment. I love where I'm at right now. I'm really excited about the future for me. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for everything that I've been through. Some advice that I'd have for people young people who would watch this documentary in hopes of coming to Canada to seek opportunities or start a life here, the biggest advice I'd say is know yourself, know your culture, because this country has a really good way of stripping you of your culture, of stripping you of your roots, just because of the colonial, the Eurocentric, the white supremacy that is here. And I think it's really important that regardless of where you come from, bring your culture with you, hold your culture tight, because that's all we have as people. All you have is your culture. You have your culture, you have your history, you have the things that have really allowed you to be who you are as a person. And for me, I share that advice because I ran for my culture for many years and I forgot who I was. I stopped speaking my own language for many years. And not until I got back to speaking my language, to embracing my culture, when everyone else started to do so in Canada, is when I realized how important it is to hold on to my culture. And I see people who stop speaking their language. I see people who stop eating their cultural food, who stop, speaking to their parents in their native tongue. And I think that's what Canada wants. Canada wants its own language, it wants its own culture. There's no culture here outside of us. If we're not here, there's no culture here. So bring your culture with you. Understand that this is a part of the world in Canada, and you can you can be a part of it, but you have to bring all of what you are and allow this just to be a piece of who you are as a person. You can't make this, which is Canada, be a part of all the wholeness of who you are. So that's my biggest advice. If you bring your culture with you and you stay grounded in your culture and you know who you are as a person, I think those are two really key things that will allow you to really navigate this world in a really great way. And I'd say the third thing that's even more important is to know what your why is. Like, what is your why? Your why for coming to this country may be just for a better opportunity, but what does a better opportunity look like? You've got to be very clear about what that looks like, because people here will steer you left, they'll steer you right, they'll steer you down, they'll steer you up. But if you want to go straight, you've got to know what your why is. You've got to know what it is you're doing in order for you to get from here to here. Because I've had it happen to me. Friends steered me here, friends steered me here, friends steered me there, until I said, no, who is Randell? That's when I realized what my path was, and that's how I was able to create my own path for myself. I think all of us are born with something special, and I think it's important that we figure out what that special thing is. And I've been very, very fortunate to find out what my special thing is, what my unique element is, and I'm sharing that with the world to the fullest of my capacity. And yeah, I'm just here to serve. This really symbolizes my life. So I put this book out to inspire people, to remind them that in every adversity that we face, there's a seed of opportunity. There's something you can learn, some way you can grow to become a better person. And so yeah, this is one of my proudest moments actually of like putting this together and you know, having people come support it. It's still kind of surreal that I wrote a book. My name is Randell Adjei, and I didn't come this far to only come this far.
Didn't come this far to only come this far.